Hey everybody, welcome back to another video here at Bar Run Forge. Today we are taking a look at our PrimeWeld CUT60 plasma cutter, and we're going to do a little bit of an upgrade, so stick around. So unfortunately, we've had an issue with our PrimeWeld torch head. For some reason, and I'll show you here in a second, we're not getting a good arc out of it. So I was running the plasma table, cutting out some of our blanks for a customer, and it stopped arcing for me. So it completely quit. It was still blowing air, but for some reason it would not arc. So I took it out, tried it, handheld, pressed the trigger down, and it would not arc. The only time I would get it to arc, and I'll show you here in a second, is you have to have it right up against the metal and basically scratch it to kind of produce that arc, and it was giving me just a little bit of sparks, and that was it. So contact the guys at PrimeWeld. Side note, fantastic customer support with them. Got back with us immediately, even after hours. We were asking them questions, trying to diagnose the problem. They asked us to send a couple pictures of the torch head disassembled. We were able to kind of go through and hopefully diagnose the problem. And I think what was happening, what they mentioned to us, was there's a little bit of water, because we're using this over a water CNC bed on our plasma table here, is that some of that moisture has just barely gotten in to the torch head, and unfortunately it looks like it might have shortened it out. And again, I'll show that picture here in just a second of what that looks like. So when I sent that picture to PrimeWeld, they said, yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. They recommended, obviously it's going to be a little bit more money, but they recommended if you're primarily using this for a plasma cutter, go ahead and get the tool torch. Now that ran us about $300. They were gracious enough to give us a little bit of a discount, just I guess out of sympathy, and because they're, like I said, really good customer service. So they gave us a little bit of a discount for that and said, hey, give this a try, see if that resolves your situation. So we're going to go ahead and test that out here. But first I want to show you, I'm going to turn on the plasma cutter and just show you why we're having, or what the issue is, and why we're upgrading today. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this on a manual setting. I'm not going to hook it back up into the table because we're going to be redoing that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the plasma cutter here, and then basically I'll show you what's going on with it. So press this down, you should be able to get an arc, and we're not seeing anything. The only time I'm able to get it to arc is if I hold the trigger down and basically scratch it up against here, but it's not fully arcing, and it's not giving me a cut. You kind of have to, see, it's not even giving me that hardly. So unfortunately, it looks like that seems to be our issue. Like I mentioned earlier, here's a picture of the pictures that we sent to PrimeWeld. If you notice, there's a little tiny black spot there up towards kind of the main part of the torch head, and they seem to think that there was a short there, again, potentially because of some water, moisture, build up and anything like that. Now I will say it isn't because of anything in our air system. We've got 3 dryers before it even makes it to the plasma cutter here. There's one on the plasma cutter, there's one right at the connection point, and there's one on the compressor. So 3 air dryers that should be giving us as dry of air as possible. So that doesn't seem to be the issue. It looks like there's just some residual moisture coming up from the bottom of the plasma table that might have gotten into the torch head, which makes sense. This torch head is mainly meant to be used to be just a handheld torch if you're making handheld cuts, cutting straight on a piece of metal or whatever. So it's not really designed, it can be, but it's not really designed to be your CNC plasma cutter torch head. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew this. Again, real simple, just unscrews right there from the unit. Make sure you got it off. And take that off here. There you go. We'll wrap this up and put this away for safekeeping, and then bring over our new tool torch head. We got with PrimeWeld, figured out the issue is probably the torch head, like I said earlier. So we're going to go ahead and open up the new torch head. So we upgraded from our original handheld torch head to the tool torch head. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our box here, and we'll make sure that's what this is. Alright, so as always, set that down, set this over here. that box down and get this guy opened up. So there we go. There is our new tool torch head. So any plastic here, I'll go ahead and get this out of the bag. See what all the mess is about. Alright, now we'll take this over. Oh, don't forget the little tool down here in the bag. Get that as well. We'll take this over and start working on getting it set up at the plasma cutter. So we've got our new tool torch head. We've got this little plastic cover on the front here. Set that off to the side. And again, same kind of plug in, just plug and play. So we'll put that on here and adjust that back in. Screwed in nice and tight, and then we'll go over to the plasma table. And what we're going to do is we usually run this behind our toolbox here, down around, and then it comes back up to the arm of the plasma table. So we'll move over to there, and I'll show you that once it's all set up. Alright, so we got everything hooked up and kind of ran the cord here. So that is attached now on the torch holder. So again, we don't have torch height control. This is just a adjustable height. You set your height to whatever you want it as far as what size and thickness material you're working, and then you run it based off of that. So it doesn't have the ability with, like I said, torch height control. But we didn't need that little flange or whatever you want to call it, that little cover there for the old head now, because this is the torch head or the tool head. So we don't have to worry about as much of the moisture problem in this torch head as well. So next thing we're going to do is get everything kind of set up and ready to go, and then we'll fire off a blank and see if we're back in business. All right, we've got everything set up. I've got airflow going through it. We've set everything. So now we're going to go ahead and run a blank here and see if we're back in business. Here we go. Well, there you have it, guys. Looks like we're back in business. Just cut out a simple bottle opener blank, and everything looks good to me. May have to tweak a little bit of the settings, just kind of get a good feel for how the different head works. But I think we're good. So I think the biggest problem, and then like I said, the guys from PrimeWeld kind of affirmed this as well, with us using this on our plasma table, that there might be a little bit of moisture that kicks back up. You saw some of the water spits back up there as you're cutting through. So there's a potential for that. That is not a enclosed head, so it's not a sealed head like our new torch tool head is. So they recommended, hey, unfortunately, I know it's going to be $300 or so out of your pocket, but you upgrade up to the tool torch, then you're not going to have to worry about the water getting up in there, because this is all sealed off outside of the consumables down at the bottom, and you're not worried about that because those are consumables. So we've upgraded to the tool torch head. Everything seems to be running good. So I've got a custom order to fill out, cutting out some more of these bottle opener blanks, which are available on our website, www.barrunforge.com. That's BARRUNFORGE.com. Go check us out. Thank you guys so much, as always, for checking us out here at Bar Run Farm and Forge. We'll see you at the next one. Take care. God bless.